following WCIA3 News Special is brought to you by the McDonald Group and Express Employment. Now, honoring Black History with Celebrating Central Illinois. Here is your host, Matthew White.
Well, good evening, Central Illinois, and as always, we thank you for being with us. I'm Matthew White. Tonight, we are going to continue our year-long series of Celebrating Central Illinois, and this month, we've been focused on honoring Black history, as well as those who have made an impact in our communities, and we're going to bring you a project that's making sure that history is not forgotten. And so our first story revolves around a man who has spent 40 long years coaching and mentoring kids, and then 30 years at the Danville School District in maintenance, and then 15 at Community Action Agency, and even today, he's still helping to bring vaccinations, education, and peace to Danville.
There are our ancestors that has paved the way for us to have the freedom to do what we're doing today. The freedom to go to school, freedom to get your education, you have the freedom to get your job, to do anything that you want. But you just got to redirect your mind in order to do it. And so that's what we're trying to instill within our young people. Keep the dream alive. Keep hope alive.
Ed Butler says that's just one of the reasons he does what he does. Not only is he serving as the president of Danville's NAACP chapter, but he's also the co-founder of a group called the Three Kings of Peace. And part of their mission is to reduce violence in the community and advocate for the youth.
We are excited knowing that, that we can sit down with young folk and so you'd be amazed, Matthew, how the effect that we make on these kids by being the mentors that we are and the passion that we have for our young people. We sit down 3 and 4 hours talking to them. And so it's amazing. And we love it.
So that's why their main goal now is to establish a mentoring center, which they're wanting to go inside the old steel grip facility at Garfield Park, but for now they're using a recreation room at Mount Olive Baptist Church, which is where Frank McCullough, another Kings of Peace member, is also its pastor.
We're trying to catch those young people. We get them from grade school all the way up there to high school. And so we're just trying to redirect their minds, and we're in the school 6.5 hours a day volunteering.
Now that's something Pastor LaStan Hoskins has been inspired by. Back in 2022, he and his wife Jennifer opened the Mosaic City Church, but he also started It Takes a Village for 3rd and 4th graders just last April in partnership with the Danville School District.
When I saw them do things in the community, it just inspired me, and I said, if they're doing it, why can't I do it? And so I just stand on the shoulders of, Ed Butler and Bobo Smalls and Pastor McCullough, and I just want to, continue the work that they started.
So that work includes giving out $2,000 in scholarships every year to high school graduates, but It Takes a Village is also aiming to expand to all ages in the district by the end of this year. LaStan says lately he's been hearing a lot of kids wanting to be a rapper or an athlete. However, he wants them to know their education is their foundation.
And I want to help change that narrative where, you can go to college, get a degree. If not go to college, you can work at a factory and be a productive citizen. And so I want them to know that, hey, all things are possible. But if you don't make it, doing what you plan on doing, there's a backup plan. And that it's okay.
Since 2020, Ed Butler has also made it his mission to tackle COVID-19 by bringing vaccines, wellness fairs, and more to his community, but also groceries, medicine, hand sanitizer, gloves, and masks. LaStan says that no matter what hat you wear, always stay true to yourself.
Our skill set, our physique, however, we were made, hey, embrace it. There's only one you.
Now, Ed Butler was recently named an honorary past Grandmaster. He received it for his 20-plus years serving the Masonic Order, and now he's just hoping for more grant funding for their Mentor Center. And you can send any financial support you'd like to give to Danville's NAACP chapter. All of that information is on our website, WCIA.com. Now, have you ever heard of what's called National African American Parent Involvement Day? Well, if not, it encourages parents to play a bigger role in their child's education. Now, several Urbana schools participated in that event earlier this month, and our own WCIA3's Jamal Williams was at King Elementary. That's where parents, teachers, and community members gathered together, but they also discussed ways to strengthen their relationship with students.
More than 100 parents gathered at King Elementary in Urbana to celebrate National African American Parent Involvement Day. Parents and faculty members addressed ways to help their kids be successful in class. One idea they talked about is reprimanding students when they're doing wrong.
When I was a kid, if someone else, another adult seen me acting out of pocket, they would be the first to call my mom or pull me to the side and be able to chastise me in that sense that, you know you're not doing right, you know that you're doing wrong. Let's fix it.
Ashley Cooper is a single mother who works 2 jobs to provide for her son. She says making sure her son is doing well in school is her #1 priority, but it doesn't stop there.
Sports, the Urban Aquatic Center, there are other activities, for kids, after-school programs, you can volunteer with those as well. There's a lot of ways.
The crowd also talked about difficulties of working a full-time job while also parenting. I spoke with a parent who says the key to managing both is knowing you're not alone.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. Family, and don't be afraid to ask for help. There's a lot of people out there who's going through the same stuff, so there's always someone who will help you out. So.
Now, parents at that event also say that they hope the school will expand on days like National African American Parent Involvement Day because they believe that more events like this can help them be more involved in the academic success of their own kids. And so our reporter from that event, Jamal Williams, joins us now. And Jamal, we're going to ask you, what stood out to you from your firsthand experience of this event the most?
Well, for me, Matthew, a lot of things kind of stood out for me, but I would say one thing that parents talked about was time. A lot of times with their students, they may have more than one kid that's in school, or sometimes with some kids, they may have them in several grades, like in middle school and high school. So it can be hard for them to try to go to a parent-teacher conference for all 3 kids, especially at the same time. So I think for them, time was one thing that they did talk about, not having enough time with school, work, working 9 to 5 jobs. I think that's one thing that did stand out with them.
And so one of the solutions you would say is maybe a balance?
Definitely. I would say a balance in terms of, one, being able to manage all at the same time, and also just like one parent said, just not being afraid to ask for help. Use your community. It takes a village to raise a child, as people do say. So I would say just try to ask maybe aunties, uncles, people that are like family to your kids as well, too, that can help you. Say if you need to be at your high school students' parent-teacher conference, then you can maybe have somebody go to someone who's in middle school and then somebody else for someone that's in elementary school. So use your resources around you. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and that'll be able to help you get more involved in your child's lives.
All right, Jamal, we thank you for your experience and your perspective, too.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Well, one high schooler is making a difference in and out of the classroom. Make sure you stay tuned for how she's building strong relationships with other kids. Plus this.
Her character just speaks for itself. Just the ambition and the drive and the willingness to even want to help out in the community, help her teammates out, help her friends out.
Now, he was just describing the nature of one of his own athletes. We get to tell you what one girl like this has accomplished just outside the track.
Celebrating Central Illinois continues, honoring Black history.
Well, we welcome you back to our special this evening. This senior behind me at Champaign Centennial High School is helping others like her succeed. From planning a blood drive at New Generation Church, where she attends, to tutoring the youth. This young lady believes in making the most of her time to make a difference.
School is important. It's going to be important throughout your entire life, especially those first 22 years. That's literally all you know is your education. So if you're going to be here, you might as well make the most of it.
That mentality is why Nia Jelani Wilson-Thomas has been so successful. Not only does she serve as an executive member of Student Council.
My junior year, I did a lot in Student Council. We had a fair that I came up with, and then we did powder puff. I made the t-shirt designs. I planned the practices because I just want, especially during COVID, I know a lot of seniors and juniors didn't literally get their experience that they deserve, so I just want to do the same thing for my friends.
But Nia is also volleyball captain, runs track, and does cheer. However, she's most proud of her outreach with the younger kids. Ever since the summer of 2021, she's volunteered at the Freedom School, a 6-week summer program at the local Garden Hills Academy.
Kids, they're very outgoing people. They'll go out their way hey, I want you to talk to me, I want you to play with me. So I really built a really good relationship with those kids, like my first year. And so like seeing them come back the next year was like really exciting for me.
Nia also helps in a math class at International Prep Academy where her two brothers attend, but her mom, Cecily, a Centennial teacher, is who inspires her every day. But she's also raising the attention of other staff at her school.
She takes an idea and runs with it, and she's going to push to try to make that happen as much as possible. If there's a barrier, she's going to try to go around that barrier in the right way to make it happen. And I think just not being defeated at the first no or the first wall that might hit, and I just think that's a really great thing to be that resilient.
Amy first met Nia back in September of 2021 as her student council advisor, and ever since then she's learned of Nia's interest in pursuing cybersecurity. But as a social worker, she's helping Nia navigate being a woman of color. But no matter the student's race, her advice is to always know your value.
Just her knowing what she might face, but what are your strengths and how can you overcome something that's male dominated, and then you add in a person of color, there's always those things stacked against. So if you know your inner strengths and you know how good you are at something, don't let those walls keep you from doing what you need to do.
Now, Nia's mom is also the dean of students at Centennial, and so I asked Nia what it was like to have her there at her school. She says it helps her to think, mature, and learn more, but also to honor the examples that Cecily has set before her. Now, from one student to another, she is a record-breaking, history-making track star. From being a team captain to earning honors in school, she still finds time to give back. This Rantoul senior behind me is an example of using the gifts God gave her for good.
Focus on yourself in the future and try and do what you are happy with doing. Don't try and just always try and set yourself up and always want to achieve your goals. And, just never, doubt yourself and never, second-guess yourself.
In 2021, Brianna Dixon won the first gold medal and title for Rantoul in state track and field Class 2A. However, her most recent achievement is not because of her running. She earned an MLK Living the Dream scholarship this year for acts of service to her communities, including her time with nursing home residents through her church.
I grew up going to church, and my grandpa is now a pastor at Mason Temple Church of God of Christ in Danville. And so growing up with him, he's always been wanting to give back. So not really by choice when I was younger, but they would have us go to nursing homes over the holidays, sing to them, even just, giving some words of the Bible and stuff like that. So as I got older, it came more of I want to go.
Brianna also works with Not on My Watch in Rantoul, which works to reduce violence in the community. Plus, she mentors youth at the Bob Folling Hope Center, which are two efforts led by her dad, Herbert Burnett.
My dad, he owns the Hope Center in Rantoul, so we have annual holiday, we give away gifts for Christmas, we do food drives, open houses, stuff like that. It's just fun, seeing the kids come and be happy, especially during Christmas, because not a lot of people get to really enjoy the holidays.
However, Brianna's dad isn't the only male figure in her life she's making proud. She's known her AAU Vipers track club coach for about 7 years now, and she says Marquise Lowe helped her develop a mental toughness, especially when she suffered an injury weeks before Nationals this past summer.
At times it can be tough because you just never know what a kid is going through, and you just want to take your time just growing and molding them into the people that they're going to be, but also instilling that tough love. Me being from a military background, my mom was just always tough on me, and I know her stepdad is from a military background, so he's really tough on her as well, and just laying the foundation for her so she can be successful.
The Vipers Club is also reaching teens like Brianna in both Bloomington and Danville. Now in its 14th year, it's one of the largest groups with about 100 high school athletes, 30 of them competing at the collegiate level. The year-round program also brings national exposure and scholarships. So when Coach Lowe heard that Brianna won an MLK scholarship, he said,
"It's just a testament to the type of athlete and just a person that she is. Her character just speaks for herself. Just the ambition and the drive and the willingness to even want to help out in the community, help her teammates out, help her friends out. I think that's extremely important in today's society."
But even still, he says medals and awards don't define champions. It's having the heart to soar above the hurdles that life can bring you.
There's going to be tribulations, there's going to be difficulties, but at the end of the storm, there's going to be light at the tunnel. So I think that's just important for our youth to hear. Never stop believing in yourself, but make sure that you always hold yourself accountable. It's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to fall down, but pick yourself back up and keep going.
Now, there is a project, though, that celebrates African American history in one county, and we're going to tell you how you at home can get involved with it. But we also have this.
Definitely a place that has loving and opening arms, that we come in, we welcome everyone that comes through the door.
He was talking about a space for African American students, and we get to tell you why it's more than just a building at the U of I's campus.
I just want people to kind of focus on Black history throughout the year, and I want it to be real.
Well, hopefully we've all heard of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Rosa Parks, but these U of I students say that there's many other important names we still need to learn, and they're wanting people to remember that after Black History Month ends. Well, there is a building on the U of I's campus that is offering ways where people of every culture can celebrate Black history. It's called the Bruce D. Nesbitt African American Cultural Center, and it's described as a place meant to encourage African American students, along with the pride and dignity in their heritage. It's also a space for them to find support, where they can connect with people of diverse backgrounds. WCIA3's Scarlett O'Hara will take us to that center.
Students are the future, so we asked some if they feel Black history is celebrated enough.
In my opinion, we don't do enough, and even during the month of February, it feels mostly performative.
To remedy that, Taiwo Ajasa says people should keep their enthusiasm for learning through the rest of the year. To her, Black History Month is about studying every contribution the Black community has made, especially by people you might not have heard of.
Doing a deep dive and then actually telling the truth when we're telling Black history and not kind of watering it down.
That means honoring names like Bell Hooks and Audre Lorde alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks, and letting Black teachers do it.
There's so many ways to get information about Black history from Black people.
Ajasa is the marketing and social media intern at the U of I's Bruce D. Nesbitt African American Cultural Center, or BNAC for short.
Definitely a place that has loving and opening arms, that we come in, we welcome everyone that comes through the door.
Walter Flatt handles art, culture, and entertainment at the center.
We really make this place feel like you are at home, because college can be very stressful, so just to have a place that is really home vibes and good food and really good people is always what we strive to have here at BNAC.
The university felt it was important to give students of all backgrounds a space to feel empowered, supported, and connected to their heritage. And to the students who spend time in BNAC, the U of I's investment paid off. We asked Flatt what Black History Month means to him.
Well, even though it is just only a month, it is just a good opportunity to get out of your comfort zone and to try something new, to listen to something new, bring some more color and flavor to your life that you might not have had previously.
Alrighty, well, there are two people in our community who are wanting to ensure that years of African American history continue to be told for generations to come.
We don't want those stories to get lost.
And you're going to soon learn that those stories are all around Champaign County. We get to tell you where you can find them right here in our special. Welcome and thank you for joining us on this special. We are highlighting a community-based transformation project, one that aims